She was the most heartbreaking little fox spirit in the forest. Born an orphan, she never knew her parents. While other young kits were still nursing, she had to scrounge for fish just to survive. But her frail body often made her a target for other yokai. Not only would they steal the fish she'd painstakingly caught, but they'd also taunt her, calling her a born good-for-nothing. One day, as she lay battered and near death, a young man suddenly appeared. With effortless grace, he subdued the bullying yokai. This savior was none other than the kind-hearted Natsume. It was the first time the little fox spirit had witnessed a human's immense power. Though she held a deep reverence for Natsume, she instinctively chose to keep her distance. She thought it might be better for Natsume if they didn't become acquainted. After all, Natsume was only there temporarily to study, and if he really got tangled up with a yokai, it might turn into a bad omen. But at that moment, the little fox spirit couldn't grasp such complexities. She yearned for acceptance. So, she secretly snuck into the school, hoping to get a closer look at her rescuer. There, she finally learned the young man's name, and was, for the first time, healed by Natsume's gentle smile. He was an angel sent from above to save her. The little fox spirit was completely smitten, utterly entranced. What she didn't know, however, was that Natsume had already noticed her presence. Caught off guard, the little fox spirit panicked, blushing furiously, and scurried away with her tail between her legs. But even after she got home, she couldn't stop replaying the encounter, fantasizing. Could Natsume be one of us? She wondered. Then we could live together, no holds barred. From then on, every day, she secretly watched Natsume's every move. But gradually, she realized the young man didn't seem to want much to do with her. After a 3-second countdown, Natsume and Nyanko-sensei bolted, leaving the little fox spirit standing there, stunned. However, a sudden downpour couldn't deter the little fox spirit from following. Trembling, she offered Natsume the first umbrella she'd ever given anyone, then hid in a corner, saying nothing. Natsume turned gently and simply said, "Thank you." This was her first interaction with a human, and her first time receiving affirmation from someone. She told her mother's grave that she was no longer a good-for-nothing. She would grow stronger and stronger, becoming as powerful as Natsume. But then, the two yokai from yesterday reappeared. They wanted to drive out useless yokai, and the little fox spirit was, of course, their prime target. This time, she finally mustered the courage to fight back. The result? Well, it was less than stellar. But it thoroughly enraged those bullies. Just as things got critical, Natsume once again materialized, taking a fierce blow for the little fox spirit. The terrified yokai dropped their hold. As Natsume was about to teach them a lesson, that strange sound he kept hearing resurfaced. Its source was a tree spirit's cry for help. Natsume opened the Book of Friends, and after returning its name, he resolved another lingering concern left by his grandmother, Reiko. The powerful yokai, now scared, fled. The little fox spirit, however, wished to become Natsume's familiar. She offered her name, but Natsume refused. He didn't want to bind the little fox spirit. Instead, he wanted them to be friends for a long time. She didn't understand. She couldn't grasp it. But the day of their farewell still arrived. Natsume returned home. His adoptive uncle had handmade a set of teacups and wanted to give him one. After all, one of them had been made specifically for Natsume. So, this kind-hearted, pure young man was always surrounded by warmth. Natsume truly loved his current family, and the little fox spirit was quietly working toward seeing Natsume again. She didn't want to be a burden, and she genuinely wanted to help Natsume. But as a yokai, she was afraid to enter the human world. She was waiting for the day she could transform into a human. This time, however, she encountered a colossal monster. The yokai promised that if the little fox spirit caught fish for it, it would grant any of her wishes. She believed him, working tirelessly in the lake all day. But once the yokai finished eating, it regained its power, flying into the sky. It even advised the little fox spirit, "Natsume might have forgotten you by now. Maybe he doesn't even want to be with you." All of this deeply crushed her. But then, the yokai surprisingly offered her a pill. It was a pill that would only grant her human form for one day. But for the little fox spirit, one day was enough. She followed Natsume's scent, trailing him through the human world, navigating trains and roads. Finally, by evening, she arrived at Natsume's home. But she stopped short. Hearing Natsume's happy laughter from inside the room was, in itself, her greatest satisfaction. Still, the little fox spirit couldn't resist a peek at Natsume living with his uncle. So happy. They were just like her biological parents. They casually praised how delicious the fish Natsume had caught was. The joy of family brought a smile to Natsume's face unlike anything the little fox spirit had ever seen. She left, a mix of joy and disappointment. Natsume, looking out the door, seemed to sense something too. The little fox spirit was happy for Natsume, but loneliness was all that remained for her. She wanted to go back to her old home, but a stone tripped her, adding insult to injury. Her beloved straw hat floated away, landing right at Natsume's feet. Seeing the little fox spirit, Natsume smiled gently. She couldn't hold back any longer. She excitedly leapt into Natsume's embrace. "Let's go home together,"